Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo was one of the first games released on the system, coming out months after the critically praised Sonic the Hedgehog. Super Mario World was a popular game, expanding upon the ideas of Super Mario Bros. 3 and giving the player many fun and unique and creative levels. And man, the amount of levels and secrets that is in this video game is insane. This game's core gameplay is more smooth and laid back than Super Mario Bros. 3, and there are some cool new power-ups thrown in Super Mario World as well, such as the cape where Mario can fly. Super Mario World is an amazing game and I can't wait to review this video game here today. Here is my Neo review of Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo is technically the 4th or even 5th game in the Super Mario Bros. Series if you count Super Mario Land. This game offers so many fun and creative levels, and this is the debut of our green dinosaur friend Yoshi, who can eat enemies and Mario punches without any care in the world for some awkward reason. Yeah, I don't get it. Super Mario Bros. 3 had a map for each world, but in Super Mario World, it is one massive world and each of the areas connect to one another. There are so many fun and enjoyable levels in this video game. Mountain levels, grassland levels, water levels, ice levels, star theme levels. Man, this game compared to the first Super Mario Bros. Games has more levels. Super Mario World was a video game that was a means to push the Super Nintendo units since Sega was giving it their all back in the early 1990s. And Super Mario World helped Nintendo in trying to compete with Sega. Sega in the early 90s was giving Nintendo a real challenge with their Sega Genesis. From 1991 to 1993, they were even, and at some point Sega actually had the advantage. Nintendo knew that they needed to provide the best games possible on the Super Nintendo, and Super Mario World was one of those games on the Super Nintendo. Super Mario World, even 28 years later, is one of the most fun and interesting games in the entire Super Mario series, and I say that without any regret whatsoever. I am going to talk about the development of Super Mario World. Super Mario World was directed by Takashi Tezuka, while Shigeru Miyamoto served as the producer. Shigefumi Hino took the role as the graphics designer. Nintendo EAD handled development with a team of 10 people, including 3 main programmers and character designers, most of whom worked on the original Super Mario Bros. As well. Super Mario World was the first Super Mario game in the series developed for the Super Nintendo. Shigeru Miyamoto wanted Mario to have a dinosaur companion as far back as the original Super Mario Bros., but Nintendo engineers could not add the dinosaur buddy due to the limitations of the Nintendo Entertainment System. Koji Kondo, who worked on Super Mario Bros. 3, worked on Super Mario World as well. Like I have stated before, and it's even factually proven, Super Mario World was released during the console wars between Sega Genesis, and Nintendo Super Nintendo, which was 2 years old already by the release of Super Mario World to Sega Genesis. Almost every video game review site has given Super Mario World either a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Super Mario World is one of the best platforming video games hands down period, and I agree with most of those video game review sites. This is just from me personally, from my own experience. I played Super Mario World as a teenager, and I felt myself enjoying this video game and really liking all of the amazing levels in this video game. As for myself, I really find Super Mario World to be an amazing video game, and I actually advocate for those high review scores wholeheartedly. Super Mario World is one of the best video games of all time in my opinion. The story of Super Mario World really doesn't play a huge factor in this video game. You get some exposition at the very beginning of the game, telling you what Bowser is up to, and you fight Bowser at the end, but besides that, this game doesn't really have any complex cutscenes like other games like Final Fantasy and The Legend of Zelda. But if you guys really want to know the story of Super Mario World, this is what the story is about. After saving the Mushroom Kingdom in Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario and Luigi decide to go to Dinosaur Land. While resting on the beach, Princess Toadstool disappears. When Mario and Luigi wake up, they try to find her. After hours of searching, they come across an egg in the forest. It's Yoshi, who says that his dinosaur friends have been imprisoned by the evil Koopas. Mario and Luigi set out to save Princess Toadstool and Yoshi's dinosaur friends and defeat Bowser and the Koopalings once and for all. I have to say this, I am glad that this video game explains very little with the story. As you guys know, most Mario games have always been light on the story aspect. The very fact that we got an explanation at the beginning of the game pretty much says everything about the central conflict of the video game. Bowser has kidnapped Princess Peach and Yoshi's, and Mario must save them. It's very efficient for Nintendo to pull that off in my opinion. I am going to talk about the gameplay of Super Mario World. Super Mario World is a 2D platforming video game. The goal is to make it through the end of the level. Super Mario World has some new enemies. There are these dinosaurs that take 2 hits to kill, these weird football Koopa players, and some of the levels have some really tough enemies. And towards the end of the game, with the amount of hazards and pitfalls and enemies that this game throws at you, Super Mario World will kick your ass time and time again, I'm serious. There are some really cool power-ups in this video game. Fire Flower returns, and Mario has its illustrious Super Cape, which is a very unique power-up. Mario can fly literally halfway through the level if used correctly. That is how amazing and unfortunately broken the Super Cape is. Like I've said before, the greatest aspect of Super Mario World is the amount of content there is in this video game. And by content, I just mean the amount of levels in general. Super Mario World has a ton of levels. Some easy, some hard, and some that will make you throw your controller due to pure rage and frustration. But throughout all of that, what makes me smile every single time I play Super Mario World is just the different varieties of levels that this video game offers. It has such clever level design that it makes each playthrough unique and different to experience. And also the Koopaling bosses were fun to experience, and actually the final Bowser fight in this game is one of my favorites in the entire series. All in all, Super Mario World's gameplay is fun, engaging, accessible, and enjoyable. And like I've said before, Super Mario World is an excellent video game. What are my final thoughts about Super Mario World? Super Mario World is one of the best 2D Mario platforming video games ever made. This video game has amazing level design in most of its many levels in this video game. The boss battles in this video game were very enjoyable, and riding Yoshi in this video game offered a different gameplay style, adding variety to this video game. Super Mario World was made for the sole intent to stand up to Sega in the console wars, and this game was a great start to Nintendo's popular Super Nintendo system back in the 1990s. Super Mario World by most fans is up there with amazing Mario games. When I was 13 years old, I played Super Mario World on the Wii's Virtual Console, and I played this game all day back then, and I had such a fun time playing this video game going through level to level. Anyhow, the score that I am going to give Super Mario World is a 10 out of 10. This is an amazing Mario game, and honestly, I definitely recommend it to both young and new video game fans alike. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this Neo video game review, and I'll see you guys later. MisterWii is out.